Hi, this is Ed Pohl on the road again from our Airstream as we travel across the country. With the economy being what it is, we hear more talk about the virtual law office or the virtual assistant, the virtual this or the virtual that. What we're really talking about is a presence within perhaps somebody's home where they are in effect communicating with their resources, that is their suppliers, and their customers off of the internet by email and otherwise, rather than physically having a presence where somebody visits with them. In today's economy, with occupancy costs being 9 to 12% or thereabouts, sometimes more, sometimes less, of one's total revenue, it's a big number. With a recession, or as I like to term it, the depression, having been so painful, with, for the first time, thousands of lawyers being laid off from America's big law firms, with technology advancing as it has so rapidly and so effectively, helping us do substantially more with substantially less, we find out that in today's world we literally can have a virtual law office. And many people, particularly those in bankruptcy work, in IP work, folks like this oftentimes almost never see their clients. It's almost all done by email and otherwise over the internet. All of this is well and good, but despite all of this, we must understand what the client wants, what the client needs. Oftentimes, the clients are, what should I say, reassured. They are satisfied because they have the personal presence of their lawyer. There is a connection there between them and the lawyer that just is not possible through the internet, but demands the personal connection, face-to-face connection. Perhaps not often, but at least at some point. I'm reminded of Hewlett-Packard, HP, the forerunner, as I understand it, of telecommuting. They were promoting telecommuting throughout their entire organization. About a year ago, I think it was, they changed the vice president of one of their divisions who took a look at the telecommuting policy of the company. And very soon after his ascension to the new position, he sent out a directive. And the directive was no more telecommuting. Every one of their employees now had to be connected to an office. They physically had to be in the office. Now, they could still use telecommuting to some degree, but they had to be in the office several days a week. Now, with HP, that was a problem, because with the ability to telecommute, some folks had moved many, many, many miles away. In fact, one of the examples that was given, I think, was that there was somebody in New York who had to move to California because that was the closest HP office. And don't hold me to the accuracy of the geography, but the move, the distance for the move was that substantial. And the employee then had to make the decision, do I give up my lifestyle where I am, try to find employment elsewhere, or do I make the move to get back to the HP family or stay in the HP family? And I think that this is a real important issue for lawyers to take cognizance of. Telecommuting is fine as an adjunct, but not so much, again, depending on the nature of your practice, the practice area, and the geographic area of your involvement. Telecommuting should be just part of your practice and not the bulk of your practice. It seems to me that what we're talking about in terms of the virtual office has an impact on your bottom line. Now, when most people talk about bottom line, they're talking about finances, the financial bottom line. Can you make more money by having a virtual law office? If you can cut out 10% of your cost, the answer is yes. If your revenue suffers, the answer is no. But there's another bottom line that we have to take into account. And the bottom line here, and I think the most important bottom line, is the client service bottom line. By having a virtual law office, do we impact the client service? It probably will have an impact. The question then becomes, is it a positive impact, a benign impact, or a negative impact? In most cases, I think, from what I've seen, it's a negative impact. You lose the camaraderie with other lawyers. You lose the connectivity between yourself and the client. Whatever the case may be in your particular circumstance, the only thing I'm suggesting here is that you take a look at both bottom lines, not just the one, and clearly not just your convenience. Throughout all of my commentary, I always come back to the client service. It's the convenience to the client that's important, not to us. And it seems to me then that the real bottom line here is not only the client service, but the understanding that even if we have a virtual law office, there is no way on this green earth that we can be a virtual lawyer. There's a distinction here that's to be made that I think is very important. The distinction is between the virtual lawyer, which I don't think you can be, and the virtual law office, which many people are successful in attaining. Thanks again for joining us today.